Yo, what it is, everybody? Thanks for tuning back into another episode here on the Speedbug channel. Well, I said I was going to get back into the motorcycle content for y'all, and we got another build going, and we're going to start it, and we got back into the motorcycle content. Excuse the mess a little bit and everything else behind me. I am doing another project that I'm currently as well filming on now with the Trans Am, doing the upper half to take care of these new badass heads and cam that I just threw in this car here not too long ago, and there's the new manifold and stuff like that, but that's another project. But part one of this Joker, we're gonna build this Joker and get some quick bolt-on parts to have some fun with it, and then I'm going to race a buddy of mine that has my old S1000. He's a new rider versus I am not, and we're gonna do experience versus non-experience, but he has a much faster bike. So, plus, again, it was time for me to start building this Joker anyway. So, what we're going to obviously go ahead and do here today is we got some sprockets. We got some sprockets here from Vortex. I threw them over here on the floor. Excuse my mess for my battery chargers and stuff. Went with the blue aluminum sprocket here to match the Suzuki blue. And then have another one up front. I went with the combination of one up in the back and one down in the front, just to give it a little bit more pep. We got some new kick-ass exhaust coming. We got the ECU flash coming. We got some runner trims coming. We got a whole bunch of dyno tuning and all that stuff. So this Joker is going to, may not be the fastest bike, but it's going to be very quick. So it's going to be fun. So let's get going and get these sprockets installed, and let's get to it. Speedbug fans, like I said, we're back here on the motorcycle content. Went with the blue anodized aluminum Vortex sprockets. I was going to go steel for longevity, but I don't ride this bike 24/7, so the aluminum will do just fine. And before I always do it, even though I know I got the right one, I always check my pitch to make sure that it actually lines up in my chain. God forbid that they ship the wrong one, but we are all good. Let's go ahead and throw that on and run these bolts down. Now I'm not tightening this with my impact. I'm just running them down. I think I have it set right now to like 15 foot-pounds of torque. That way I'm not sitting here running them all down with my finger. And then I don't know what part that left off, but I'll just repeat that again. My GoPro battery just died, so I'm just running them down with my impact gun, and I'm going to grab my torque wrench and then torque these suckers down. Make sure you always do it in that star pattern. That'll keep those jokers on there. We put the wheel back in. All right, ladies and gentlemen, now that we have this joker back on, the nice Vortex sprocket looks really good against the Suzuki Blue. Got everything back on the transmission. Now we just need to put all of our nuts on, our speedometer piece back on, all of our gear shifter and linkage, and button everything up, and she's all sprocketed. And then we'll see you in the next video, so stay tuned. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we have the GSXR all back together. All of the shift linkage, the chains, the nice new sprockets and stuff like that, all back together and works just as it's supposed to. I'll start it up here in a second and verify everything, and always go over once over, check all of your bolts, make sure your alignment is correct and you're correct in the back wheel. Make sure you torque your axle nuts, torque the front nut and everything like that that goes onto the transmission. Because I have a very low amount of miles on this bike, I know a lot of you are going to try and rip me apart in the comments. You already know if you change your sprockets, you're supposed to change your chain because they all have one unique wear pattern. This chain does not have a lot of miles, so I really wasn't worried about that. But if your bike has 10, 15,000 miles and such like that, and you do decide to put some aftermarket sprockets on it, there's a good chance no matter what kind of sprockets, steel or aluminum, they are going to be eaten up because the chain already has its own stretch and wear pattern. But it is good practice to make sure that you do go ahead and do that. But since this chain is fairly new, even though it's the OEM chain, I did not go to a 520. Yes, I know it's lighter, but I do like the durability of the bigger chain with the bigger links. And that's pretty much going to wrap it up. So got everything running here, running perfectly fine. And this is part one. Stay tuned here for the next part. And we'll start to take some other goodies off and put some other cool stuff on this bike. But I promised you guys some more motorcycle content. You got it. So stay tuned for that. And also many more things coming with the cars. That's coming as well. And we'll see you here for another episode here on the Speedbug channel. Peace, y'all.